So good morning. It's Monday morning. I took kind of a restful weekend. I intended to do something else, but it didn't happen, so my body kind of crashed anyway. So I'm back at it Monday morning, and I'm waiting on a plumber because I don't know. Lilith is complaining. What? I don't know what her problem. I moved some stuff around. I don't think she's happy about it. And I cleaned her litter box, and it's out in the sun sanitizing and drying, so maybe that's her problem. Don't get on my kitchen counters if you've got to poop. But speaking of pooping, were we speaking of pooping? Well, we are now. Not really, but because now everybody's just clicked off. Don't click off. I'm not really talking about that. When my sister was here, we were doing a lot of scrubbing. One of the things she scrubbed were these louvers in the kitchen and all the woodwork in here and elsewhere, and of course, and so I had this little detail scrub brush, bigger than a toothbrush, but probably the handle wasn't quite as long as a standard toothbrush. And as we were scrubbing, our bucket was getting very grody, and we would dump it numerous times. Sometimes I'd go out and just dump it out on the back brick patio because it's really nasty back there, and I figured soapy water, even if it's dirty soap or water, couldn't hurt it any. Plus we had a bad problem with ants, and I wasn't using anything particularly toxic. I was using Castile soap, and I guess I was using a little Mr. Clean here and there, but again, nothing. It was mostly dirt. But one time and we were filling it in the bathtub in the back bathroom that we're not using, and rinsing the mop in there, etc. Well, at one point, she had taken stuff in there and left it, and then got, as we do, distracted by something. And then later, I went in there and I needed a fresh bucket of water for something. Can't remember now what it was. So I picked up the bucket of dirty water, and I saw that there was a wash rag in it. I pulled that out and put it on the side of the tub, and I didn't reach into the dirty water any further than that, and I dumped it in the toilet. The little scrub brush was in the toilet, was in the bucket, and before I could see what was happening, it went down. So we didn't use that toilet again. And I kept thinking, at some point, I'm just gonna go get a new wax ring, take that toilet off, see if I can find it, assuming it was caught in the S-curves. Well, Saturday morning I took a shower, and all of a sudden my shower pan started filling with water, and my toilet started gurgling. And I'm like, no. And that was in the other bathroom. So what I had feared was going to happen happened. The brush went further, I'm assuming. I don't know yet. Roto-Rooter hasn't been here yet. I immediately, after getting out of the shower and getting dressed, Googled Roto-Rooter Selma, and found a number, called them. Well, of course, being a weekend, the earliest they could get me on the schedule was today, and I'm assuming it's not going to be, well, it's already 10 o'clock, so it's not first thing this morning. So I've been very carefully, I did reinstall my bidet. Oops, mop handle. So I have been very careful about what goes down my drains over the weekend. I haven't done any laundry, haven't run my dishwasher. I put my bidet back on my toilet so I don't have to use any toilet tissue. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. I've been very careful about, because after I put the bidet on, I had to turn the water back onto the toilet, and I hit the flush just kind of mindlessly, and it overflowed. So luckily it was just clean water because I had just cleaned the toilet. It wasn't anything else. Mopped up my floor in there and said, I guess it's McDonald's if I need to use the toilet or a bucket in my backyard. So again, that's all I'm gonna say about that. So today I'm waiting on the plumber to come to fix the problem, and hopefully, I know that the main drain, I'm pretty sure, I should say, you never know anything for certain in an old house, but I'm pretty sure that the main clean out drain for the house is under the house in that back northeast corner, and it's basically underneath the bathroom in question where the thing went down. The bigger problem is if it kept going and it got into the sewer lines going out to the street, and I have to have things dug up. Please keep your fingers crossed that that didn't happen. But when it's done, I should be free and clear, so to speak. So anyway, this morning I've decided that I needed to get some other stuff done, and since I can't run to the hardware store and get paint today because I have to stick around the house till the plumber comes, I decided to do some things in the kitchen and the little room. I don't know. I have another room with no name. I'm assuming originally this room was the dining room. It's right off the kitchen, has a little fireplace. It's smaller. It doesn't have any built-ins, which is kind of disappointing. I don't know if maybe at some point it did and they got torn out. But most of the other original work in the house, woodwork in the house is here, so I don't think that would be the case. But let me show you what I've done so far. So behind me is that kitchen island, and that's where I put the table, that big work table. But my sister suggested I move into these windows, which at the time were, this area was full of boxes, and I have since moved the boxes, either unpacked the boxes or moved them to the storage, the bedroom that's storage for now. So there's still a cat box in the corner. I don't know where I've moved that 3 times. I'm afraid to move it too many times and she'll get mad. But it needs to go into the back utility room, ultimately. It just hasn't. So anyway, because that room is stacked. But then now I have this floor clean. Not clean, I have this floor empty. And before I put anything else back in this kitchen, I did a little experiment. I don't know where the thing went. It's over there somewhere. But I got a gallon, oh, here it is. I see so many old house YouTubers use crud cutter to clean their old grody houses. So I got a gallon of this the other day, and I just splashed a little bit of it full strength on the floor and scrubbed it around and then wiped it up. And you can see how much cleaner that is. So my goal today is to clean this kitchen floor with the crud cutter. I put a new mop head on. I've got a bucket of clean water to rinse with, and we'll see. We'll see how much. I got to go get my knee pad kneeler for the garden to get down on this floor. But I wanted a nice little before, because like this main walkway, you know, here in front of the cooktop is pretty bad. This is pretty bad. You can't see because the sun's shining on it. Over here in front of the pantry. I did scrub the pantry out, but I didn't have the crud cutter when I did the pantry, so it's not as clean as it could be. And then back to the back door. So there's just a lot of, and then I believe the white powdery stuff around the under the kick plates, around the bottom of the refrigerator and the cabinets is probably diatomaceous earth. Hi, Lil. What are you doing? To keep ants and whatnot out of here, and I appreciate that, but I gotta not. And I apologize for how cluttered and nasty my counters are because I haven't been able to run the dishwasher for the 2 days. And I didn't run it, well, I'm glad, I mean, I've run it once or twice since the thing went down the toilet, and I'm just glad it didn't flood my kitchen. So, this is the before. And I'll show you in a day, probably not a few hours, the after. And hopefully my plumber will get here so I can take a shower when I'm done, because this is nasty. Okay, see you in a bit. So just a little halfway point progress report here. You can see where I cleaned and where I haven't cleaned. Pretty marked difference. I'm about to take a little bit of a break here because my plumber just called. He's on his way. But I've done around here. Now there's still some grouty areas, grody grout. There's some that came real clean, and that looks real good. And then there's still a pretty black around here. And this is still wet over here. So I think when I'm done with the scrubbing, the next step will be maybe a wet mop, just with clear water to rinse everything up. No, actually I think the second step will be I'm going to get my steamer out with the detail steamer brush and get at the grout and blast all that black gunk out of there. Then I will mop it with clean water and it will be clean. And then I got to do some research on how to seal it. I'm sure there's some kind of sealant that I can put on this. But yeah, it's not perfect, but boy, that's a big difference. And I'm a barefoot person most of the time, so having a clean kitchen floor that I can walk barefoot on is going to make me real happy. So that's the midday progress report. I just put a little bit of the crud cutter on this really bad spot, kind of brushed it around. I'm going to let it sit while I go empty my bucket. I am emptying my bucket almost every to every other time that I move my scrub. So like my 3x3 scrub radius that I can reach while I'm scrubbing. Some spots it's almost, I have to just rinse it, dump the dirty water each section, and some other sections that weren't quite so bad, I was able to do 2 sections before dumping. So it's quite a job, but boy, it's going to be worth it when it's done. It's just going to make this kitchen even better. Every time I do something, I take another layer off. It's just another moment in a spa day for this beautiful old house to come back to her former glory. Okay, end of day. Well, it's midday. Well, no, it's getting to be end of the day. It's after 3 o'clock. You can tell I did not have the opportunity to get a shower because Roto-Rooter came, discovered that the main clean out for the drains is under the house. It's just under the house, just under the corner of the house where the hatch to get under the house, crawl space, is. I'm not going to say a lot about it, but basically the man that they sent to do it, very nice man, very helpful, but he was about 6'5" and made Hagrid look petite. Let's just put it that way. He's a big boy. Very nice man. It was hot. It was a lot of ants. He got partway under there. Basically, his call was that he couldn't do it. Now, I don't know if he couldn't do it or if it couldn't be done by one person. He made me believe that it couldn't be done by one person. He's like, well, do you know a plumber? You could have a plumber come and extend that clean out to outside the foundation line, and then we could easily do it. I'm like, well, if I called a plumber, I'm just going to plumber do the whole damn job. And I don't have a plumber yet. I will have a plumber when I do those bathrooms and some other jobs around here, but I don't have a plumber right now that I can call quickly. So they're going to come and do a water jet clean out tomorrow. Evidently that can be done by one man, one person, and it's going to cost me twice as much money as it would have cost for him to Roto-Rooter it today. But for some reason they couldn't send a second guy to help him or whatever. I don't know. And right before he got here, I was pretty much done with scrubbing this kitchen floor. Now, it's not done. As I showed you at the halfway part, there are still grout areas that need a deeper clean, even the scrub brush and the crud cleaner just wasn't getting it. So let me turn you around, show you what we got here. So here's the floor. Let's see if I can. It's so much better. See, there are parts of the grout or mortar or whatever you'd call it between the bricks that are white, that did come clean. And this was the area between the table and the wall that was very heavily trafficked and heavily dirty. But this area between the cooktop and the island and just kind of this main prep area, it needs more. And over here in front of the refrigerator, there's still some wet spots that look dark, but it's also needs more. And then at some point, I'm going to assume these were cans of paint or something else that left these rings, and I hoped that the crud cutter and the scrub brush would have gotten it. They didn't. Also, I've seen some hazy spots that I think if just a vinegar rinse with a mop would probably take care of. So my intention was to get my steam mop, which is right here, my Sharp steam mop, and I can convert this from a floor mop thing to a handheld with a concentrated nozzle with a brush on the end. And I was going to do that. I am going to do that, but I'm not doing it today. Obligatory cute cat parts. Okay, let's look at the cute cat while I talk. I can't find the other parts. I know exactly where they were in the other house, and I have found boxes with things that were on the same shelf with them in the other house, but I can't find them. Like I found all the vacuum attachments and they were kind of together because that makes sense, right? Oops, sorry kitten. So, turn this back around. It's not happening today, which is fine because I'm beat. I'm learning that I can't do everything in one day. But let me show you, again, not styled or anything yet. Well, I did put some stuff on this. So I moved, in the last shot, I moved this credenza that where the TV was, and it was in the corner of the center room over here with the TV on it. And it's been kind of my TV stand and things in the other house in my living room. But it's basically the same height as the kitchen island by like a ½ inch to an inch. And it's the same length. Again, maybe hangs over a skosh. Skosh is a technical term. What I would like to do with this eventually, it came distressed. This is not an old piece. It's probably a decade old. I bought it when I had a store and it was my countertop. Bought it from a flea market and it came this country chic, what is that? Shabby chic distressed finish. But where the distressed finish is coming off, or is distressed, you can see that it is wood underneath. I have no idea what kind of wood, quality of wood. So ultimately it would be, I can't really paint it because of the chips on it. It would leave a rough finish. So ultimately I would like to perhaps strip it if it's nice enough looking. Just put an oil finish or a polyacrylic finish on it and have it a wood piece. I think that would be pretty. If the wood is mismatched and weird, I will paint it again, but a solid color. Either white to match the cabinets or, well, I have another piece that I painted a couple years ago that I have paint left over, and I think that color would go really well in here with the color I have intended. So back in here, again, I've been too tired to do a lot of cleanings, a lot of picking up and styling. I moved the purple table here. I'm gonna take the plywood off the wall, off the windows. That window there on the right needs to have a pane of glass replaced, but I think until I get someone to do that, it is boarded up from the outside and there is a gap. The missing pane is right here and there is a gap between the plywood. So I think I have a whole bunch of poster board and foam core board in the house. I'll cut a piece that fits snugly in there and get someone to repair that sooner rather than later. So let's span around. So that little table was here next to the couch. It's higher than the arms of the couch. It didn't really fit between the door frame and the couch here very well. It worked, did its job, but it's a little lower than the credenza, so it's nicer for the TV, because when the TV is on the credenza, the sight lines are a little uncomfortable. Enabled me to move pet beds over a little bit. And the infamous cat box end table. Ultimately, the cat box will not be in my living room. I lived for a year with a cat box in my living room, and I don't really want to have a cat box right as you walk into my kitchen, but I don't have any other end tables at the moment. I'm watching Facebook Marketplace and the flea markets around here until I find something, a pair that can go on each end of the couch and, take all the stuff that's stacked over there. But for now, that's gonna work. And same with this chair. I don't particularly like it here, but until I get another room finished where I can put it, and or when it's nice to have a chair facing the couch when you have people over, so you're not just all lined up on the couch without a chair. So that was my project for today. I guess I'm stuck at the house tomorrow until they come and clean my pipes, get my pipes cleaned up. I'm actually gonna freaking sit down. And then hopefully I can get a shower. I could call a friend and see if I could go over and take a shower at their place tonight, but I'm gonna just whore bath it in the sink, I think, and call it good. Wash my feet, wash my face. We all know what a whore bath is, right? It's probably not politically correct to say that, so I'm sorry if I offended anyone. But a sponge bath. I will sponge bath myself before I go to bed tonight, so I'm not quite so gross before I get in my bed. And get back at it tomorrow. Stay hydrated, people. That's all I have to say about that. Why do I... Oh, I know why I'm quoting Forrest Gump, because I felt like Forrest and Bubba on my hands and knees scrubbing that kitchen floor. And maybe I'll go make myself some shrimp scampi, or shrimp and grits, or... I can't even think of all the ways that you can make shrimp. But yeah, I was feeling very gumpy today on that floor, scrubbing. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I did not record any time lapses of me scrubbing, so those of you that tune in to see me doing hard labor, I apologize. Maybe when I do something, you'll get to see that. Whew, I'm tired. Peace out. Love ya. Bye.